I joined a top-secret, closed-door national defense research program for 10 years and disappeared from his world completely. After that, he searched everywhere, used every connection he had, but never heard a single word about me again. 10 years later, he lingered in the lobby of the hotel where I was holding my wedding, hoping to see me just one more time. Clara, I heard you're getting married. Why so suddenly? My supervisor adjusted his glasses, looking at the wedding invitation in his hand with obvious regret. You're the most talented student I've ever met. If you put your heart into research, you'll achieve amazing things. Sigh. But you have the right to pursue happiness. I shouldn't be selfish. He forced a smile and quietly sealed a document shut. I wish you a happy marriage. I'll bring the other lab members to your wedding. Thank you, Professor. I meant every word. He had mapped out my entire academic and career path, given me endless guidance in research, and poured his heart into mentoring me. Getting married so abruptly, I felt guilty toward him. After saying goodbye, a senior fellow from the lab walked with me out of the building. Don't overthink what the professor said. He devoted his whole life to the lab, to research. It's his life's calling. You're gifted. He's just afraid that once you have a family and kids, you won't have as much energy for research. He's grieving for your talent. He waved the invitation in front of my eyes. I'll handle the other lab mates. I'll make sure they get these and show up on time. Thank you. Please make sure you all come. I smiled happily. Rest assured, and please tell the professor too. Even after I have children, I won't give up research. It's what I love most. My senior laughed and changed the subject. You chased that guy for so long. Finally made it happen, huh? It's getting late. I'll drive you home. No need, I said. Finn and I agreed he'd pick me up. Really? He nodded, hesitating. Then I'll wait with you until he arrives. We waited for half an hour before Finn Gu's car finally came into view. Finn Gu was my fiancé, the guy my senior had mentioned. I said goodbye to my senior. But when I opened the car door, I saw someone was already in the passenger seat. Hi, sister-in-law. I'm Willow Tron. The woman in front of me was dressed beautifully and greeted me warmly. But I froze. Many girls chased after Finn, but in all these years, I'd never seen another woman in his car besides me. I never even heard the name Willow Tron. Finn explained, "This is my sister, Willow. She just got back from abroad. I picked her up on the way." I snapped back to my senses and greeted her. "Hello, I'm Clara Sue. Too, at the Gu family home." Finn's mother, wrapped in a shawl, was waiting at the door early. She wasn't waiting for me, she was waiting for Willow. MRS. Gu adored Willow. Before the car even stopped, she rushed to open the door. After Willow got out, Gu looked her over affectionately, linked arms with her, and chatted casually. From their conversation, I learned that Willow had been the Gu family's foster daughter, living with them for many years. After high school, she went abroad to stay with a relative who owned a company overseas, and hadn't come back for years. But she'd always kept in touch with the Gu family. This time, she'd suddenly returned after hearing Finn was getting married. "All right, come in and eat. I asked Auntie Lou to make your childhood favorites." MRS. Gu pulled Willow inside. Finn drove the car to the garage. I stood outside the door, feeling empty inside. My parents died young. I was raised by my uncle, and I'd always been sensitive to people's attitudes. From the first time I met Mrs. Gu, I could tell she didn't like me. At first, I thought she just didn't think I could help Finn's career. Now I realized maybe, in her heart, someone else was always meant to be the Gu family's daughter-in-law. Soon enough, Finn parked the car, walked over with a gift, and asked why I hadn't gone in. I said I was waiting for him. He just said, "Oh." He was always like this, cold as ice, hard to get close to. But on the ride here, he'd been laughing and talking with Willow. A side of him I'd never seen before. 3. During dinner, Du kept asking Willow about her life abroad, whether she planned to move back. She didn't spare me a single glance. "Mom, in a few years, my uncle and I might start businesses here. I'll probably move back permanently." Good, good, good. The wrinkles on Gu's face smoothed out, and she beamed. "Finn's busy with the company, and your uncle's passed away. I'm lonely here all by myself. Come live with me when you're back." When Willow nodded, Gu smiled sweetly, then her tone suddenly sharpened. "Willow's so sensible. Not like some people who only know how to eat." My eyebrows lifted. I nervously put down my chopsticks and glanced at Finn. "What are you looking at him for?" "I'm talking about you. Quit that lab job as soon as possible. We don't need you to make money. After you marry, just focus on the family. You won't starve." Finn stayed completely silent. I had no choice but to explain quietly. "Mom, my work won't affect Finn and me. It's not about that." Gu's face turned stern. "Your hours are regular, you're up early and back late. What happens when you have kids? You're not going to leave them all to a nanny, are you? Finn can more than support you. Stop embarrassing me outside." Gu grew angrier. "Look at Willow's successful business, beautiful, presentable. And look at you." She rolled her eyes, dismissing me as worthless. My salary wasn't low, but compared to Finn's, it was nothing. But research was for the good of the country and the people. It couldn't be measured by money alone. Thinking of my supervisor, who dedicated his life to science, I almost argued back. But I knew it wouldn't change her mind, it would only make things worse. The truth was, Finn's company had succeeded partly because of my work. But I never told anyone. I never imagined she'd attack me over my job. Probably because she'd already picked her ideal daughter-in-law, and was just using my career as an excuse. Just then, Willow turned to me and said, "Sister-in-law, why not come work for my company?" See. Willow's so thoughtful. Gu immediately chimed in, shooting me a provoking look. Just as I was about to snap, Finn finally spoke up, annoyed. "Mom, enough. Eat." The scene ended. At the table, Gu and Willow chatted and laughed. Finn occasionally joined in. I ate quietly, just wanting to go home. Compared to this dinner, I preferred the equipment and data in the lab. They frustrated me to no end, but they weren't this mean, this sharp with hidden knives. But then Mrs. Gu mentioned something casually, and it pierced my heart like a needle. It turned out Finn had chased Willow in high school and been rejected. When the topic came up, Finn quickly cut her off. But Willow kept bringing it up, subtly, in every conversation after that. I realized this wasn't simple. My best friend Thea Lu had gone to high school with Finn. I decided to ask her tomorrow. I know Willow Chuan. Right before the college entrance exams, Finn confessed to her the whole school knew. I even shipped them back then. My best friend ate her steak, chattering non-stop. I could almost picture the scene back then. "Clara, why are you asking about this all of a sudden?" "She's back," I said calmly. My friend froze. I had dinner with her at the Goose last night. She swallowed hard and leaned forward. Finn was there too. "Wow, yeah, she's their foster daughter." Of course he was. "Did you have to go?" "That's so awkward." I didn't know beforehand. She came back suddenly. Finn didn't tell me. "Then you need to be careful." My friend took a sip of water. Willow's father died saving Finn's father. After her mom passed away from cancer, the Gus took her in and raised her like their own. I heard she has an uncle doing business abroad, but I've never met him. I asked curiously. So did Willow say yes back then? Nope. Thea said. Otherwise you never would have gotten close to that ice block. But I admire you anyway. 3 years in college, you actually melted him. Impressive. I smiled faintly and continued. Why did she turn him down? Thea put down her knife and fork, thinking hard. I heard they were too close. It felt weird being boyfriend and girlfriend. That's what people said, anyway. Willow always saw Finn as a brother, nothing more. No idea if that's why she left for college abroad. You have to ask the Gu family. Actually, there's something I've always wondered but never asked. You were glued to the lab every single day in college. Everyone thought you'd be single forever. But you took one look at Finn and chased him like crazy. You don't know how stubborn you were back then. It was scary. If you put that energy into research, I believe you could build a dimension-reducing weapon. And you're not the vain type either. I just can't figure it out. What else does that ice block have going for him, besides being good-looking and rich? I smiled without saying a word, gazing at the busy traffic outside the window. My thoughts slowly drifted back to the year I was in grade 95. After school, I was cornered by bullies in an abandoned school building behind the campus. They not only robbed me of all my money but also kicked and beat me violently. Some of them were holding phones, filming the whole humiliating scene. They threatened me. If I dared report to the teachers or call my family again, they would kill me. This wasn't the first time they'd hurt me. They knew my parents were dead and thought I was easy prey. I was terrified, feeling completely hopeless, like my life was over. After my parents passed away, my uncle had taken me in. He worked as a salesman at a foreign trade company with a modest salary. Because of me, his blind date fell through. The woman called me a burden and said she would only marry him if he sent me away to live on my own. My uncle threw her out of the house in a rage. He told me to focus on my studies and not worry about anything else. When I was bullied the first time, I told my uncle everything. Without hesitation, he took me to the school to reason with them the next day. But the bullies were many, and their parents were even more. The head teacher, trying to keep her rating, brushed it off. The dean, hoping for a vice principal promotion, wanted to sweep it under the rug. The school didn't want to damage its reputation, nor let the education bureau find out. In the end, they all stood against me and my uncle. My uncle went from speaking calmly to losing his patience, growing frustrated. Even though he was shaking with anger, he didn't lay a hand on anyone, holding back for as long as he could. But then one parent called me an orphan, unwanted, a liar, saying their child would never hit anyone. That was when my uncle snapped. The man who made a living with his mouth taught them a lesson with his fists. As a result, my uncle lost his job. Those parents even protested at the school, demanding we apologize, or I wouldn't be allowed to attend. Soon after, the school suspended me, claiming I was disturbing other students. During those days, my uncle came home late every night, and could only fall asleep after drinking. A few days later, my uncle somehow borrowed money and paid their medical fees. The incident finally ended. He told me again. If those bullies bother me again, I must tell him right away, not to be afraid. 2 weeks later, I was allowed back to school. But the bullies faced no consequences at all. They behaved slightly in school, but after class, they got worse. I didn't dare tell my uncle anymore. I saw the helplessness in him. To fix this, to let me study normally, he had not only paid money, but also given up part of his dignity. That's what the bullies told me while hurting me. They mocked my uncle for kneeling in front of their parents to beg for peace, calling him a stray dog. Rage burned inside me. I wanted to fight back. I didn't want to be my uncle's burden. I didn't want him to beg on his knees. I didn't want him to pay more money, didn't want to be bullied anymore. At that moment, without thinking, my right hand closed around a stone hidden in the weeds. A voice in my head screamed, "Smash these beasts to death." I was going to swing it, hard, at the back of their heads. Then the whole world would be quiet. No insults, no beatings, no videos of me being humiliated spreading around school, no pointing fingers. The voice grew louder, urging me to act. But just as I was about to strike, Fingu rushed in with a group of people. He was an older student from another school, but I'd never seen him before. They blocked the bullies inside, called the police, and had someone carry me, barely conscious, to the hospital. After that, I never saw Fingu again. Everything else was handled by the Gu family's lawyers. When my uncle saw my injuries in the hospital, he cried heartbreakingly. He was a proud man. That was the first time I'd ever seen him cry. Later, my uncle took the compensation from the lawyers, and we moved house and transferred schools. Before leaving, he asked around everywhere and took me to the Gu family's neighborhood, but we couldn't get inside. Not long after, we heard the Gu family had moved too. It wasn't until college, at a freshman orientation event, that I recognized him at a single glance. Fingu. He had long forgotten that random act of kindness. But he had saved me from my dark, hopeless life, like dawn's first light, something I longed for and admired deeply. Since he didn't remember, I never mentioned that year in grade 9. Instead, I chased him like crazy. Heaven rewarded my persistence. During the summer after his junior year, we officially became a couple. Hey. Why are you grinning like that? Thea Lu tilted her head, looking at me curiously. Nothing. I looked at our empty plates. Want another plate? Shut up. Thea Lu huffed. You think I'm a pig? I'm full. Liu on the wedding day. Thea Lu chattered non-stop in the dressing room, taking photos of me every few seconds, busy and cheerful. I checked the time. According to the schedule, I should be walking down the aisle soon. But no one came to get me. After a while, Thea Lu got tired and lay on the sofa, giggling. Clara, do you think Senior Felix Wang likes you? What? Your lab senior. Thea Lu grinned at me. Every time I post something about you, he's the first to like it but never comments. Tell me that's not a crush. Accidental tap. I gave her a sharp look, serious. I respect Felix Wang a lot. Don't talk nonsense. Thea Lu laughed carelessly. Too bad you're already married off. He missed his chance. Stop it. I pretended to hit her, telling her to behave. Just then, Fingu sent a voice message. Willow Chen got into a car accident. I'm heading to the hospital now. My heart sank. I immediately asked, what about the wedding? I'm just checking on her. I'll be back soon. I frowned and called him. Finn hung up, then sent another voice message. I'm driving. Can't talk right now. Qi. Thea Lu saw my pale face and stopped joking, asking what was wrong. I was nervous, stumbling through the story. Thea Lu flew into a rage on the spot, wanting to call my uncle, my senior, and my professor to stand up for me. How could he do this? Abandoning his bride on their wedding day. Thea Lu complained. For another woman. Just wait. He'll be back soon. I told Thea Lu to calm down, even as I tried to reassure myself. A moment later, I forced a calm face and went out with Thea to comfort the guests, planning to talk to Mrs. Gu. But I looked everywhere and couldn't find her. She must have gone to the hospital with Finn. For the next 3 hours, I sat on pins and needles. I sent countless messages, called dozens of times to Finn and his mother. No reply. They even turned off their phones, as if they'd vanished from the earth. Gradually, the Gu relatives started whispering. My uncle grew upset. My professor sent Felix Wang to check on me, but I brushed him off. My heart grew more and more panicked, more anxious. Another hour passed. The guests grew restless. I had no choice but to ask the hotel to serve dinner to calm them down. But even after everyone finished eating and prepared to leave, Fingu and his mother still didn't show up. My uncle was furious. He didn't eat a bite, only drank heavily in silence. In the past, he would have grabbed my hand and taken me home already. But he knew the Gu family had helped us years ago, so he held back, waiting with me. Still, the conflict between my uncle and the Gu family finally exploded. Bah! As the guests were leaving, a child of one of the Gu relatives piped up loudly. Mom, I heard you and Dad talking earlier. Did Brother Gu really run off with another girl? Is Clara Sue unwanted now? Is she a joke? The child spoke without holding back. The Gu relatives and friends exchanged knowing smiles. But that sight pushed my uncle over the edge. What are you laughing at? What are you saying? The Gu relatives jumped, all turning to look at him. The woman hugged her child tightly. The kid was just joking. Why are you yelling? Jokes he learned from you. My uncle was fuming. He was already upset and slightly drunk, and pointed straight at the couple and their child. The Gu family wronged Clara. Apologize. Ah. Child's father stepped forward, sarcastic. Apologize. Who do you think you are? Are we wrong? I heard Willow Chun is back. Clara Sue and Fingu never even registered their marriage. The wedding's ruined. If that's not the groom running off, what is it? How dare you? My uncle lunged at him, but Thea Lu and I held him back. I tried to calm him down, but the man spoke again. I heard it from my sister. She's Clara's future mother-in-law. Would she lie? My uncle turned to me, eyes sharp. What's going on? Why didn't you and Finn register? Who is this Willow Chuan? I clenched my hands tightly, not knowing how to explain. Just then, the child started crying. The father immediately pointed at my uncle. We didn't say anything wrong. Why should we apologize? Now you've scared my kid to tears. You should apologize, or this isn't over. You think the Gu family is easy to bully. More and more Gu relatives stopped to watch, many smiling, clearly enjoying the drama. You made us wait for hours, and now you want us to apologize. Yeah, you're not even part of the Gu family yet, and you already don't know your place? I heard her parents die young. Only her uncles left. Where does she get the nerve? Look how few tables she has. Her whole family's probably dead. Tears burned in my eyes as the insults washed over me. But I couldn't let my uncle fight. There were too many of them. With his temper, he would get hurt. Everyone, please leave. I'll explain later, I gritted out. Just then, a figure stepped forward, standing between me, my uncle, and the crowd. A low voice said, "You are the ones who should apologize." It was none other than my senior, Felix Wan. More people gathered around us, my friends, lab mates, seniors, and several juniors rolling up their sleeves, ready to fight. You will apologize to her today, or none of you leaves. Yeah, what did she do wrong? The Gu family owes her an apology. Apologize. Thea Lu jumped out. You're just picking on Clara because she has no family here. We are her family. We're not scared of you. Tension flared. Then someone appeared at the entrance. Empress Gu. Jiu, what's all this noise? Willow had an accident. Finn and I went to check on her. How did it come to this? She didn't ask what happened. She just glared at me, annoyed. Can't even handle a small thing. How are you supposed to be my daughter-in-law? With all these relatives here, aren't you embarrassed enough already? Without another word to us, she turned to her own relatives and calmed them down. But we were the wronged ones. The Gu family was in the wrong first. I quickly held back Felix and Thea before they could argue. Let's go. Those 3 words took all my strength. But what else could I do? Watch everyone fight for me. Even if we won, what would it change? I no longer cared to ask Mrs. Gu where Finn was. I just wanted to leave this place, escape their stares. Her silence and refusal to defend me had already confirmed the rumors. Clara Sue. Where do you think you're going? Mrs. Gu shouted after me. If you leave, don't come back. Do you hear me? I'll make Finn divorce you. I ignored her. With my friends and family behind me, I walked out of the hotel. Maybe this entire relationship was just a dream I wove from old gratitude. Childhood sweethearts and first loves, the kind of thing only in novels, really did hurt this much. 10. My uncle, Thea, Felix, and the others refused to leave me alone. I forced a smile and finally sent them away. Alone in the empty apartment, still in my wedding dress, I tremblingly opened Finn's messages. Willow's injuries are serious. I didn't have time. Sorry. I'll handle the hotel later. I can't leave Willow right now. Just 2 lines. That was all I got after hours of waiting. I had no desire to call and demand answers. Willow hadn't even fought me or schemed to keep Finn. She'd only appeared, eaten 1 dinner at the Gu house, and Finn had abandoned me willingly. Maybe she really is badly hurt, I laughed at myself. But a part of me still refused to accept it. 11. 3 days later, Finn dragged himself home, exhausted, leaning against the wall to change his shoes. His first words, "Stop being childish. Come home for dinner tonight and explain to Mom. I'm tired. We'll talk when I wake up." I watched him go into the room and fall asleep. I didn't wake him. I just quietly closed the bedroom door. He didn't even notice my shoes are gone from the rack. I took a deep breath and left the apartment I'd once looked forward to so much. Thinking about how I rushed around for the renovation, I felt worthless. After leaving the neighborhood, I took a taxi to the university. Half an hour later, I signed up for a 10-year closed national defense research program. My professor had actually wanted to offer it to me on the day I showed him my wedding invitation. But he'd held back. I'd seen it. I'd made up my mind the day after the wedding. I contacted my senior to confirm if there was still a spot. At the same time, I asked a senior working in a hospital to check on Willow Chun. Willow's leg was injured but not from a car accident. It was a fall. That was when I knew my dream was truly over. "Clara, I want you to join this program more than anything," my professor said. "But if you're only running away to find peace, I can recommend other places for you." I closed the document and handed it back to him, serious. "Professor, I only want to do research now. Nothing else. I won't let personal feelings affect the project. I'm not joining just to escape." Sigh. "That only makes me worry more about you," he frowned. He wanted me badly, but now that I was going, he still hesitated. But seeing my determination, he finally stopped trying to talk me out of it. "Paperwork will be done soon. Luckily, your senior is joining too." I trust him. "Senior is joining too?" I asked in surprise. The professor smiled meaningfully. "When he asked about your spot, he signed himself up too." "Professor, why are you saying this?" Felix stood at the door, flustered, not knowing whether to come in or leave. "Look at you. No wonder you're still single." I was embarrassed. Felix wanted to disappear. But that was just how the professor was. That evening, Finn called. He was going to the hospital to pick up Willow and told me to take a taxi to the Gu house myself. I didn't care anymore. It would be the last time. Just one final goodbye dinner. After all, he had saved me once. Sure, at the Gu house. When I arrived, Finn wasn't back yet. Left so confidently before. "Why do you have the face to come back?" Mrs. Gu snorted, her face cold. Seeing I didn't react, she whispered something to the maid and went upstairs, leaving me alone in the living room. It was dinner time, but the servants started cleaning and wiping furniture. Obviously, Empress Gu had ordered it to humiliate me. Miss Sue, could you lift your foot please? Miss Sue, I need to fix the cushion. Miss Sue, could you move aside? The servants looked apologetic, knowing it was unfair. I didn't make things hard for them. And I knew Mrs. Gu was watching from upstairs somewhere. They were just working. I wasn't part of this family. I had no right to stay. If that was the case, there was no point in eating. They wanted me gone. Fine. I would leave. We would never see each other again. I had just reached the door when I heard a cold snort from upstairs. I paused, then pushed the door open. By coincidence, Finn's car pulled into the yard. He didn't notice me. After parking, he took a wheelchair from the trunk, then carefully carried Willow out of the back seat. Willow saw me. She wrapped her arms around Finn's neck affectionately, her eyes challenging. I admitted defeat. Completely. But I wasn't the type to cling. I stood calmly, watching Finn push Willow toward me. Why are you standing at the door? Finn finally noticed me, surprised. Sister-in-law, it's windy outside. Come in, Willow chimed in. Mrs. Gu's voice came from behind me. If she has the guts to leave today, she never sets foot in this house again. The Gu family doesn't have to marry her. Finn frowned. When he reached me, he said, Mom's just upset from the relatives. She's not mad at you. I never did anything wrong, did I? I looked straight into Finn's eyes, firm. It was the first time I'd spoken to him so sharply. Finn froze, then said, Come inside. Dinner's almost ready. No. I shook my head. If the Gu family doesn't welcome me, I'll leave. Where will you go? Finn stepped in front of me. From the corner of my eye, I saw Willow's triumphant smile. It was sickening. They say novels are stranger than reality. But truth is, real life is far more absurd. I'd been with him for years. But one look, a few words from her, and everything I'd given was erased. I didn't bother exposing Willow's fake accident. Finn probably knew anyway. Finn's voice hardened. Where can you go? You plan to hide from my mother forever? Never come back to the Gu family? I asked. When you went abroad in college, you agreed to my pursuit. Right after you came back. In your heart. Is she really just your sister? What are you talking about? Finn's face darkened. I've always seen Willow as my sister. Nothing more. I chuckled lightly. Even now, you're still lying to me. You chased her in school, didn't you? You still can't let her go, can you? In your heart, she's more important than me, isn't she? If you didn't like me, why did you say yes back then? What are you muttering about? MRS. Gu pushed Willow over. Willow cut in. Sister-in-law, don't overthink it. Brother Gu and I aren't like that. I glanced at Willow, disdain in my eyes. Really? Shut up. Finn snapped. What are you throwing a fit about now? Are you done? He pointed toward the gate. Go home. I don't want to see you right now. I won't, I shook my head. You'll never see me again. You can rest easy, Auntie. Humph, good. MRS. Gu chimed in. I told you we didn't need her to explain. Look, now I don't even feel like eating dinner. I didn't argue back. As I reached the door, a car with military plates stopped in front of the Gu house. I had already repaid his old favor, I just never told the Gu family. But what difference did it make now? MRS. Gu spotted the plates first. No wonder you're so bold today. You found someone to back you up. Mom, let's go inside. Finn pushed Willow's wheelchair into the house. I got into the car and called my uncle, tears spilling before I could stop them. Uncle, have you eaten yet? On the other end, my uncle said quickly, no, I was just about to go to the market. 13. My uncle lived in an old neighborhood. 40 minutes later, the car stopped downstairs. As I walked up, I ran into Thea Lou at the entrance. Clara, baby. What a coincidence. Come here. Thea threw herself at me and hugged me tight. Why are you here? What? I'm not welcome. She grinned. Your uncle called me. Said I should come keep you company. You young people have more to talk about. Her tone softened. I heard you cried on the phone. True. I smiled and shook my head. I didn't. But. As soon as I spoke, my tears broke free. I was just joking. Thea panicked, gently wiping my tears. Did Finn and that Willow hurt you? Does he even know what you've done for him? If you don't tell him, I will. That heartless bastard, without you, his company never would have taken off. I grabbed Thea, dried my eyes, and linked arms with her. Come on. Have dinner with me and my uncle. From now on, I'm done with Finn Goo. 14. After Finn graduated, he used family money to start a small company. He had some core technology, but almost no clients or orders. The company was pouring money into research and was starving for funds. In college, I worked on many projects with my professor and built strong connections. Thanks to my professor, I started high in the field and knew many executives who trusted me. After graduation, they offered me great jobs, but I turned them all down. When I learned about Finn's company, I researched quietly. I picked out suitable projects and convinced big companies to outsource work to Finn. I even discussed everything with my professor to make sure they were reliable. That was how Finn's company survived and slowly stabilized. During that time, I slept as little as 3 hours a day, completely drained. I went to every dinner party and never fell behind on research. Afterward, I was seriously ill for a while. But I never told Finn. Just like how he saved me years ago and asked for nothing. Besides, what would change if I told him now? Could we go back? Telling him would only mean I still cared, still hoped. 15. At dinner, my uncle drank and grew angrier, more upset. He told Thea why I'd fallen for Finn without hesitation, and how humiliated we were at the wedding. He asked her if the Gu family was in the wrong, and they ranted about them together. My best friend seemed careless, but she was actually very careful. She let my uncle talk on purpose, just to see how I was doing. When she realized I was calm, she relaxed and joined in, sometimes adding fuel to the fire. She refilled his glass, wanting him to spill every silly story about me since I was little. After dinner, my uncle was too drunk and went to rest. Thea and I cleaned up, then sat on the balcony lounge chairs, talking like we used to in the dorm. After hearing everything, Thea asked gently, Clara, you really let him go? I have. You're so silly, she said. Who repays a favor with their whole life like this? This isn't ancient times. You don't have to marry someone to thank them. I pouted. Thea giggled. But it's a good thing. From now on, you'll be smarter about love. Later. I realized who she meant. I patted her shoulder. Don't be silly. I'm not. The best way to get over someone is to get under someone new. Felix Wang is great, handsome, reliable, way better than Finn. You sure you don't want to try? Don't wait until other girls snatch him up. Oh, right. Are you really not gonna tell Finn what you did for his company? I'm not, I said honestly. Let me do it then. I love kicking people when they're down. Thea said. I'll make him so mad. All those companies only gave him projects because of you and Professor Wang. Once this gets out, they'll all pull out. loses his amazing fiancé and his business. Serves him right. By the way, I should visit Professor Wang soon. Wonder what he'd think if he knew you were chasing Finn while doing research for him. He'd definitely scold you for wasting your talent. Said you should have put all that energy into science. Haha, I bet he'd slice Finn up and study what kind of spell he put on you. I rolled my eyes. Is this how you comfort people? Anyway, I need to tell you something. I joined a program. Closed door. Thea blinked, confused. How long? 10 years. 10 years. Thea's eyes widened. Are you crazy? Felix is going too. Oh, okay then. Maybe you'll make a baby in the lab. I'll be the godmother. You. I was left speechless by her wild imagination, sighing helplessly. Then Thea looked at me, completely serious. Clara. When are you leaving? Plane tomorrow at noon. Even if my uncle hadn't called you, I was gonna ask you out tonight. Thea stopped smiling. You're really going? I am. I handed her a passbook. This has 3 million yuan settlement money from the program. Please give it to my uncle. He raised me, protected me. Now it's my turn to take care of him. I should tell him myself, but I can't. I'm scared he won't let me go. So you're gonna do it first and explain later? Thea set the passbook aside, looking at me meaningfully. Clara, he's gonna beat me to death. I knew she was joking. I comforted her, it's fine. I will come back. Maybe when I return, you already have kids. They'll call me godmother first. Suddenly Thea's eyes lit up. She slapped her thigh. No. You're leaving tomorrow, we can't waste tonight. She pulled me up. Where are we going? Late night bar. With male performers. 16. How could you bring Clara here? What were you thinking? Felix Wang lectured us, looking frustrated. I was unsteady on my feet. Thea was drunk. Felix knew where we were because Thea had posted our photo on Moments. I swear I only touched one guy's abs and Felix immediately appeared. Drunk, Thea grinned mischievously. Senior, you're so dumb. I'm testing if Clara really let Finn go. Relax. This idiot finally woke up. She really hates Finn now. Felix looked utterly confused. Am I supposed to thank you? Just as Felix was about to load us into the car, Finn-gu rushed in. Oops, forgot to block this ugly thing. Thea covered her face. Drinking really is bad. I glanced at her. She was peeking through her fingers. She did it on purpose. Finn stepped in front of Felix. Let Clara out. Felix ignored him, closed the back door, and headed for the driver's seat. But Finn refused to let us leave. Finn-gu, move. Felix Wang, Clara is my fiancé. Aren't you going too far? Thea pushed me. Clara, go. Yell at this jerk. I leaned out the window, drunk and loud. You left me alone at our wedding, wasn't that too far? Move, you jerk. Felix and Finn both froze. After a second, Felix spread his hands. That's Clara's decision. And you have no relationship with her anymore. She's my fiancé. Finn argued. Felix didn't back down. Did you register your marriage? Did you have a real wedding? Does she even want you? 3 hits, all lethal. I shouted again, Felix, drive. We're not married, no wedding. I hate him. Felix started the car. Finn stepped back automatically, standing there stunned. He didn't know that one step back would last 10 years. 17. The next day, I told my uncle about the program myself. He cried harder than I'd ever seen. It was the last thing I wanted, but he deserved to know. If I'd left such a big thing for Thea to pass on, I would have been too selfish. At the airport, Thea blocked Finn's calls in frustration. Clara, you have no idea he's gone crazy. This whole morning, he called me more than 20 times, sent dozens of messages. Her eyes turned red, but there were people around, so she held back her tears. Clara, you have to take care of yourself. Don't worry, I'm not a kid, I comforted her, whispering, when I come back, we'll hit the bar again. What? Thea stared at me, then laughed through her tears. Okay. Deal. 18. The first month after I left, Finn searched for me like a man possessed. Unfortunately, everyone close to me had already blocked him. He even showed up at Thea's door, begging for information. She refused, but Finn wouldn't leave, banging on the door non-stop. Thea finally opened it and yelled at him. If you didn't love her, why did you say yes back then? If you didn't love her, why get engaged, have a wedding, but never register? On your wedding day, why did you leave her for Willow? Can't you tell? Her injury wasn't from a car crash, she fell on purpose. Don't make excuses. You knew exactly what she was doing. In her rage, Thea told him everything I'd quietly done for his company over the years. She later told me she lost her mind that day. And Finn reacted even worse, trembling, eyes red, completely broken. In all the years she'd known him, she'd never seen him lose control like that. It only made her hate him more. He had a heart, but he never showed it to me. Always cold, always distant. Now he regretted it. Too late. If he'd given me even a fraction of the softness he gave Willow, none of this would have happened. Finally, Thea told him why I chased him in the first place, then slammed the door and threatened to call the police. Love doesn't come out of nowhere. But Finn had never asked why I loved him. I never told him, afraid he'd think it was just gratitude, not love. Thea said Finn stood in the hallway for half an hour before leaving. Later, he went to find my uncle. But my uncle had already moved. He hired private investigators. Nothing. As my immediate family, his information was classified beyond the reach of his money and connections. Desperate, Finn went to the university to find my professor. He was met by my lab brothers. If the school hadn't stepped in to avoid trouble, they would have thrown him out before he even saw the professor. My professor didn't hold back. He tore into Finn, then had him escorted away. He'd attended my wedding, saw how the Gu relatives bullied me. When my lab mates stepped up to protect us, it was with his approval. Felix had stopped him from coming out directly, afraid he'd work himself into a rage. Half a year after I left, Thea saw on the alumni group that Finn and Willow had married. She later found out Finn didn't want to, but Willow had pressured him through Mrs. Gu. The marriage lasted only a year. After the divorce, Willow took most of the Gu family's wealth and left for abroad. Her sudden return had a reason. Her uncle's company was caught in an accounting scandal and nearly went bankrupt. She wanted Finn's help but didn't know how. When she heard we were getting married, she rushed back. Any later, she would have lost her chance. She targeted Mrs. Gu first. Within a month of returning, she got 5 million yuan from Mrs. Gu, enough to save her uncle's company. After that, she kept asking for money and gifts from Finn and his mother. The divorce was the final blow. It nearly destroyed Finn's company. According to my friend at the hospital, Mrs. Gu stayed there for half a year. She recovered physically, but something broke in her mind. She kept talking about me to anyone who'd listen, saying she regretted it, that she'd been blind to a wolf in sheep's clothing. But by then, regret was useless. 19. 10 years later, the research program ended. I got my old phone back from the security office, the one I'd turned in 10 years before. I charged it, logged on, and was flooded with messages. Has Finn Gu lost it? A head leaned over. I didn't look away. I showed Felix the chat freely. In the first months I disappeared, Finn messaged and called me non-stop every day. Later it slowed to 3 times a day, then once. His tone went from harsh, to soft, to quiet. He'd been using my chat like a diary, sharing little things every day. The last message was from yesterday. I closed the app and called my uncle first. "You're home. You're really home?" He was overjoyed. I heard a baby crying in the background. "Uncle. What's that? Haha. You're an aunt. You didn't know 3 years after you left, Thea got married and had a little boy. She came over the other day, wanting to arrange a future marriage between our kids." I smiled faintly. Thea was trying to jump a generation, make me call her auntie. Next to me, Felix Wan grinned from ear to ear. "What are you laughing at?" "Clara. We should start planning our wedding." My wedding with Felix went smoothly. Finn heard the news and came to give a red envelope, but didn't dare enter the hall. He just lingered in the lobby until someone told Felix. Felix went out. Finn only asked to see me, to apologize face to face. Felix refused and told him to stop messaging me. Finn was quiet for a long time, then nodded. Everything that happened was his own fault. No one else to blame. Felix also learned from Finn that he planned to go abroad to sue Willow. On his way out, Finn ran into Thea Lu holding her son. After all these years, she didn't say much. She just turned and walked back to the lounge. As soon as she opened the door, she started talking. "Clara, I saw Finn at the door. You should have seen how he stared at my boy. Tisk. If Willow hadn't come back, your kid would be this big too." "Oh right, you didn't tell him you're pregnant with Felix's baby, did you?" "No." I blushed, smiling happily. Thea got another idea. "You have no idea. Back then, he banged on my door for hours, waking the whole neighborhood. They got it wrong, thought I dumped him and ghosted him. Suddenly I was the bad guy, and he was the tragic lover. All the guys in the neighborhood avoided me for months. If I hadn't argued with everyone with my mom and grandma, my boy would have been years younger. Nope, I gotta go sting him again. Pay him back. Come back." I pulled her, laughing. "You're a mom now. Why are you still so wild?" Fine. For your sake, I'll spare his life." She suddenly lifted her son toward me. She patted his bottom. "Say hello to your godmother." The boy pouted at his mom, held out a hand, and squeezed a wedding candy in his palm. "Hi, godmother. Candy. For you. If you eat it, you can't let mommy hit me." I laughed at the little boy. Thea pinched his cheek and made him look at my slightly swollen belly. "What did I tell you on the way here? Forgot already? I'm over here planning your future, and all you can think about is not getting spanked." The boy pushed her away and stumbled toward me. "Godmother, help." After a while, the MC called me. The wedding went perfectly. At the end of the year, Felix and I welcomed our little daughter. Clara chased love for years to repay a kindness, yet was abandoned by her fiancé on their wedding day. Seeing his coldness, she resolutely devoted herself to national defense research. Unrequited giving never earns genuine care, and love rooted in gratitude is inherently unequal. True love is never one-sided compromise. When a relationship only brings grievance and neglect, cutting losses and rediscovering oneself is the right choice. Focus on self-growth, and you will eventually meet someone who cherishes you, living a wonderful life of your own.